Good morning, or good afternoon, or good evening, wherever you are. I'd like to say a few words today about Buddha, which is of course a very, very important topic for us Buddhists. We start off with a disadvantage because the word Buddha is a foreign word with no own meaning for us. In Sanskrit, it means two things. The root Bud means awakened, awakened from the sleep of ignorance, awakened from illusions to truth. And the second meaning is fully blossomed, like these beautiful flowers here behind me. I wish you could smell them. The full blossoming of the mind, so it reaches as much wisdom as it could have, so that it is as loving as it can be, and as powerful to help others as it can be. The benchmark of the perfection of mind, with all the qualities together, resonating in harmony. This is what the word Bud meant. An awakened, complete person. And this is what people were saying back there in India. The awakened, complete one. It made so much sense. Unfortunately today the word Buddha will conjure up whatever images it does for you. For many people it's simply an image. They will say, "Oh, I've got a Buddha on my mantelpiece." And I say, "Really? You have a Buddha on your mantelpiece? Well, that's wonderful. You're very lucky." And of course they mean a piece of metal, a statue, not a real enlightened being, which is what the word Buddha means. The way we study Buddha is in three areas, the three meanings of the word Buddha. One, the historical Buddha. Two, Buddha as the three kayas. And three, Buddha as Buddha nature in each and every one of us. And I'd like to mention each of these briefly. The first is the historical Buddha, who for us Buddhists was the wisest, kindest, most accomplished being that ever graced this planet. And that's why we take refuge in the Buddha. We take refuge. Refuge means looking for support, guidance, inspiration. So we turn to the very, very best. For us, as far as we're concerned, that was Prince Siddhartha, Buddha Shakyamuni. And as far as Prince Siddhartha is concerned, then two things are of great interest to us in this first understanding of the Buddha. First, all of the lives that led up to that particular life in India. Hundreds of lives of gradual progress, gradual purification, gradual development of qualities of meditation and so many things that took hundreds of lifetimes to become finer and finer, blemishless. And then after that, the actual final life as the Buddha, when total perfection is attained. And I won't mention the story, I'm sure you've read it, or if not, I hope you will read it, of the prince who grew up so brilliantly and then left everything to meditate, to find the truth, to find what goes beyond life and death, who found it and then who taught for 45 years to thousands, tens of thousands of people. That is very, very important, especially when we look at the teaching time of the world's other great teachers. Those 45 years gave him the time to say everything that needed to be said. Being born a prince in a caste society, he had access to every level of society. He could talk to kings and princes, ministers, ordinary people. India at the time was a land of great spiritual evolution. There were people who'd been practicing yoga, meditation of all sorts. And in particular, he developed the hundreds and then thousands of people around him who became his Sangha and who put his teachings into practice and who achieved very tangible results, many of them becoming freed from suffering, arhats. So with that audience that covered all of the possible spectrum of possibilities, he was able to give all of the teachings. And when we think of the historical Buddha, that is what we call him, the teacher. Because he gave us the teachings, then he left. And he left us with the teachings as his heir. We are so grateful to the Buddha. What he gave are the timeless cosmic truths, expressed so clearly, so coherently. He gave the methods of meditation, of living in the world, living ethically, peacefully, respectfully, so that we can gradually do like he did, take our minds to freedom, to wisdom, to loving compassion for others. But more interesting is what the Buddha became when he became enlightened, because that is what each and every one of us will become when we become enlightened. Very, very important. And that is something beyond time and space, the ultimate truth of everyone and everything. It's nothing to do with being in India, being a man, being a woman, any of those things. It is the ultimate nature of existence itself. So that takes us onto our second understanding of Buddha. And in that second understanding of Buddha, then we think of Buddha as the three kayas. Kaya means embodiment. And really the three kayas show us the same Buddha mind, but experienced in three different ways. How Buddhas experience Buddha mind, how very great bodhisattvas experience Buddha mind, and how we, beings still in the world, still in karma, can experience that Buddha mind. So the same thing, but viewed or experienced differently. The first, Buddha as only Buddhas will really ever know Buddhahood, is called Dharmakaya. It is like the cosmic metafabric, beyond time, beyond space, so we say eternal. It is the very ground nature of everything and everyone. Just like space is the place in which everything ever happened, from which everything emerges, to which everything returns, and in which everything happens, material space. This is the primordial space of mind. Unlike physical space, it is not neutral. It is perfect wisdom, omniscience, a wisdom we can't even imagine. So pure, so far-reaching. And it is endless, unimaginable love for each and every being. Compassionate love, and a great power to radiate into the heart and mind of anyone who is open. So it is a great grace as well. Of course, many other faiths have had experiences of this, and their own way of interpreting it is sometimes as a God, as a someone who is wise, as a someone who is compassionate and loving. Sometimes as a series of gods. Sometimes as gods who are creators of the universe. But we don't quite see it like that in Buddhism. We don't see another being. We don't see a creator. We don't think of this primordial state even as being a substance. We call it Dharmakaya. or the cosmic metafabric. It has no form, no location, no shape, because it is in one way everywhere. It's in everything.